Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's our Monday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, and I'm going to be real serious today. And I'm going to bring in my co-host, producer, Demetrius Johnson, as we have no opening videos. I'm just playing. I'm just in one of my goofy modes right quick. But real excited to be back this week for a busy week of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio as we continue on with our Hall Guys segment each and every day. Like I said, they don't stop watching, and we won't either. We got a couple of really special guests that'll be joining us at the 1:15 and 1:30 hour. They're going to be in the Lone Star State. Yes, we're going to head into the Lone Star State, particularly in that Dallas area, and kind of give you a look at how Arkansas is really starting to put that brand in the Dallas, in the Houston area, I should say, as far as prospective recruits. But I'll get with that. But I want to get over here to my guy, producer. What's up, my man? How would your weekend go?
My weekend was good. A little busy, working all weekend in the studio. Trying to get off this itis, man. I had some of that good old Panda Express this morning, so I'm trying to wake up right now.
Man, you always seem to be in the studio making beats, dude. Is that what we do when we're not doing the show? You just constantly producing people? I mean, what's a typical weekend in Soft Step Studio?
Typical weekend.
When we're not doing on the
usually
on the
consists of me sleep in the studio somewhere. I'm probably asleep somewhere.
You have done that quite a bit. You've done that quite a bit. They came out Arkansas. Isaiah Joe will be doing some virtual meetings with a couple NBA teams. I think right now some projected him to go 43rd. Some I see 60. It's just. I mean, where were you at with that? I mean, I think it's a good information for Isaiah to go ahead and do these virtuals to have more feedback if he does come back. I think so, but a lot of people are still straddling the fence. Sometimes all money ain't good money, but people don't seem to understand that, Demetrius. I mean, it's a good thing because I think it's going to be very advantageous for him if he comes back. Then next year, his junior year, I think, you're talking first rounder. I think if Isaiah were to come back no lower than, I'd say 20, 21 in next year's draft.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think you should continue shopping around, always getting as much feedback as possible. I think, you have a close relationship with their family. You said they didn't have any intentions of leaving, just going to get some knowledge. So, I still kind of stick to that script that they're just trying to get as much feedback, and it never hurts to go look, because I think the more feedback he does get back, he knows what to go forward working on, and knows what to really look forward going to the next level.
I'm not against anyone and their families trying to better themselves and their lifestyles. I mean, I'm all for that, and I think when kids and families give up so much to be in this situation, they reserve the right to make the best decision, the best family decision, and also, too, it is a business decision. I mean, we can call it what we want to call it, but it's a business decision. They have the right to do what's best for that particular individual and his family. And if Isaiah Joe can continue to move up on the draft boards and get in a position that he and his family are real comfortable with, then, 100% behind the decision that he leave after his sophomore year. But I still will stick by the fact I think he'll give Arkansas one more season and then move on to the next level and have a very, very, very long career, because the guy's a shot maker. And I think in today's age, if you're a shot maker, you're going to be around in the NBA for quite some time to come. But we're going to play a little football, Demetrius, it looks like. We had Hunter Yurchek on. For those that didn't get a chance to catch our show on Friday, HY made it on to OGH, and quite the information he shared, Demetrius. Quite interesting, don't you think?
Definitely, if you guys missed that, I will be playing that interview in its entirety in between the breaks, so I will go get that. So if you guys missed that, tune in for the breaks. I will have the Hunter Yurchek interview with Pat Jenkins.
And real quick, Demetrius, for those that can't catch us here on our YouTube or our Facebook Live, where are the other platforms that they can find on the Hill?
Definitely, you can check us on any major music streaming platform, such as Spotify, Pandora. Just search On the Hill Sports Talk, and you will see our show new episodes every week.
Now, we got a big show coming up. As we always tell you, Arkansas, be it baseball, basketball, football, any athletic sport on that campus, dude, they don't stop watching. We call it our Hall Guys segment, and we've been doing this for quite a few weeks. And as you can see, Sam Pittman and that staff are making quite the impression on prospective recruits in this 20 and 21 class. So we thought we'd concentrate on the state of Texas and head down at 1:15 coming up to our guest, 2021 running back, Ahmonte Watkins, the four-star running back from Klein Forest High School, will be joining us. Jimmy Smith is his main recruiter. Got a lot of interesting stuff to say about his recruiting and how that's going. The speedster got a lot of options, and we'll find out some of those here shortly. And then following Ahmonte, we're going to just move slightly over to Katy, Texas, where we're going to catch up with 2021 defensive back prospect Bobby Taylor. BT is going to come on and talk about his options, and a little Sam Carter, how that's going to play in. I think the young coach is making quite the impression, and we'll let Bobby talk about that. And then we don't know. We're going to get maybe a little hit. We might bring a special guest on at 1:45 and get his take on being a Razorback, how special that's going to be for him as well. We'll just let you know as we get to that part. But let's take a break and let's get it going. It's the Hall Guys here on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio on KDSJ 479. Let's get it. Welcome back to On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. As we come to you each and every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., man, the most important person right now in the state of Arkansas that has some of the most difficult questions that have to be answered is Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek. So, we thought we'd make a reach out to the university and see if we can get HY, and we made a great connection as Hunter Yurachek will be joining me right now here on the Hill. Hunter, welcome to OTH.
Pat, it's great to be on, and thank you for your time. And I appreciate the compliment, but I am by far nowhere close to being the most important person in the state of Arkansas right now. That goes to someone at the Arkansas Department of Health or Governor Hutchinson or the medical personnel on the front lines, but I appreciate the compliment.
Absolutely. I want to get off into, a lot of uncertainty heading toward the football season. One of the questions I have is, I know you came out with a statement, maybe you want to get fall practice started. The tentative date would be July. Since then, as you've had more conversations with medical teams, what is the update as to maybe a projected date that the football program at Arkansas can kind of get back to some normal life?
Well, I think it's hard right now, Pat, to predict an exact date, but I really focused in on that July 15th window, give or take a week on either side of that. We're scheduled to kick off the season September 5th at Razorback Stadium versus Nevada, and our coaching staff, our strength conditioning staff, our medical personnel that surrounds our fall sports have all said roughly if we could get 6 weeks in, while not still ideal, that's enough of a window for us to have our student athletes back on campus, have a kind of a reacclimation period with some strength conditioning exercises, some walkthroughs, and then really to kick off our fall camp. And so we've kind of targeted 2 dates. That mid-July, again, that date is very fluid, 1 week or so in either direction. And then that June 1st date, the June 1st date is significant because May 31st is that date where all athletically related activities in the Southeastern Conference have been suspended through. And then when that date passes, I believe that we have a chance within our conference to welcome our student athletes back to our facilities.
Welcome back. It's our Monday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here, brought to you on KDSJ 479 each and every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And Arkansas and Coach Sam Pittman, they're going to sign some pretty big-time running backs in their careers here, but they want to start real early. And what better way than to head down to the state of Texas and try to impress and hopefully this young man, 2021 Klein Forest High School running back Ahmonte Watkins will call Fayetteville home. Ahmonte, welcome to OTH, my man.
Glad to be here.
Ahmonte, talk about your recruiting. Coach Jimmy Smith just recently, I believe it was on Thursday, offered you a scholarship to the University of Arkansas. Talk about that opportunity and what that conversation was like, and where what is your interest level in the University of Arkansas?
Well, when you first called, I was shocked because I haven't been talking to Arkansas recently, but he was talking to my dad. So he had a little notes on me, and they said they've been watching me for a while. They started watching me when I was at Riverside. That's my old school.
Right.
And he said he was very impressed with my skills as a running back, but they also watched my sophomore film. That's when I played safety also. But he was like, I have good speed, like I'm fast out the backfield. I could catch the ball as a running back, and they would like to use me everywhere on the field.
Now, when you look at your tape, I mean, you are quite the speedy receiver. I know, when you're one of the fastest young men in the state. Talk about, how that helps you on the football field, Ahmonte, and how it helps you elude different types of angles.
Well, it started by helping me open myself out with routes. So I could do one cut and be able to break off the linebacker or cornerback faster. And it helps me when I have to break an angle from the cornerback standpoint and make that one cut and continue up the field.
What will you be looking for, Ahmonte, in your school of choice? I know going into your senior year, lots of options, my man. But what's the one thing you're going to be looking for to kind of put that one school over the others?
A place like home, a place that I know that I'll fit in, even though science is rough. A good academic school, because I want to go to school for sports management, so I have to look for that in a school. And a place that, not just me, but my family would know I'm safe.
Talking with Ahmonte Watkins of Klein, Texas. Klein Forest High School will be a 2021 big-time running back prospect here for Jimmy Smith at the University of Arkansas. But when you sat down, Ahmonte, with your coaches, your running back coach, offensive staff, and watched your film from last season, what were some of the things that you really, felt good about, and what are some of those things that you're working on here in the off season so that you can have that type of senior year that you want to have?
The things I felt good about was my one cuts and my catching and my route running. And the things I'm working on will be more lateral movement, more hitting the hole straight up field. So I'll make a decision in the hole and break from there.
Now, playing big-time Texas high school football in that area in which you play your conference season at there at Klein Forest, talk about the competition that you face each and every week. How will that help you, help prepare you for when you do make that Power 5 step at whichever college you choose to play at?
So I started running track, and I seen how the level of competition is a little bit higher for track than in Louisiana, because the times are faster. So football seasons like that, I think I'll improve my game by each game and each practice. And hopefully I'll improve more so when I go to college, I'll be ready for that next level.
Ahmonte, now, since you hadn't been able to go through spring practice due to the COVID pandemic, pretty much shutting all athletic facilities down here recently, how have you been able to get your workouts in so that you will be ready once you guys are able to get back on the football field?
I go work out with my younger brother that's just moving to high school for the first time, and I'll work out with my older brother that already graduated. We'll go to the field, do some routes, do some ladder work, and just help each other get better.
Talking with Ahmonte Watkins of Klein, Texas, Klein Forest High School, big 2021 prospect for Coach Jimmy Smith, running backs Coach Jimmy Smith there at the University of Arkansas. Who are some NFL or collegiate backs that you like to pay attention to, A-Dub, and kind of take parts of what they do and add into how you play on the weekends?
I'm a Panthers fan, so I look at Christian McCaffrey and I look at Elvin Kamara because they running backs that basically do what I do. They could move out the backfield, run routes as wide receivers or slot, and they could do things that run routes from the backfield and open up the field even bigger.
Who are some of the other schools, Ahmonte, that are showing you major attention heading into your senior year? That right off, if there's just a few, who are some of those teams?
That'd be Washington State, Virginia, Purdue, UCF. I've been getting some love from ULL, Colorado State. And there's just a few of them. Texas Tech also.
Now, what were some of the places, Monty, that you and your family had planned on taking unofficially or official visits to before this pandemic hit? And then the second part of that, Monty, are you planning on signing in the early signing period, or when you sit down and talk to your family, you guys are going to wait for that first Wednesday in February?
I haven't really started planning to sign. Well, want to sign or when I'm to sign because of the corona stuff, so I didn't know it would happen. So I thought I would be able to go to camps, hopefully get another star, my last star, and then work from there. But then the corona happened, so really lost track of what I was doing. But hopefully I'll sign after football season.
I mean, being a four-star prospect, and in particular at the running back position, how much more mentally focused do you feel like you have to be, Ahmonte, heading into your senior year? Because let's just face it, you're going to be a marked guy. Every team's going, the game plan will be to stop Ahmonte Watkins. But how do you remain focused and accomplish each and every Friday what you set out to do?
I just have my trust in the lineman and the quarterback, because if the ball starts with the lineman and the game starts with the quarterback. So if you don't get the ball, you gotta focus on that. That's the first thing. That's key. And then during the game, I'm just thinking about how can I improve and how can I help the team win the game. And it's basically by everybody doing their part. So if I do my part, I know they gonna do their part, and we're just gonna work together.
Now, if I come to Klein Forest High School this year, Ahmonte Watkins, the big 2021 four-star running back, and I got popcorn and a soda pop. I'm at the highest part of the stadium. Ball's kicked off. Hey, Dub, for 4 quarters, what type of football player am I going to see in Ahmonte Watkins?
You're going to see somebody that's very passionate about the game, somebody who's not going to let anybody back them down, go hard every play. Because one thing about me, I do not like to lose. So I'm going to just get that out the way. I do not like to lose.
I like that. So. Now let's have some fun, my man. Riding around Klein, Texas, me and you. I'm an old school cat. Won't tell you how old I am. But I need to know some new music. I'm in Club Watkins. What's the first 5 songs on the playlist, Ahmonte, that you're going to play for me?
I'll probably go to Lil Baby, Get Money, Low Down, Humble, and probably 2 NBA Youngboy songs.
I like that. Yeah, I'm definitely vibing with you now. I want to thank you for taking time out, my man, and I'm going to make a statement, and I want you to finish this statement for me. When football is done with, when it's all said and done, you've played collegiate, moved on to NFL, if that's what you aspire to do, and you're done with football entirely, what will Ahmonte Watkins do with the rest of his life after football?
I will raise a family, and give back to the community. And also, I'd like to become a coach so I could train other people to get to that next level and show them the way that I took to do that.
Well, Ahmonte, I'm telling you, man, with the way I seen film in this conversation, that hopefully we continue to have. This can't be the last time that we have you on the show, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Hey, you have a blessed one. Good luck on your senior year. And Ahmonte, thanks for taking time out today here on OTH.
No problem.
Appreciate you, my man. That was Ahmonte Watkins of Klein, Texas, Klein Forest High School, the 2021 four-star running back, a high priority for the University of Arkansas, and Jimmy Smith. Tell me what you saw, analyst.
Man, he reminded me of Chris Johnson. I saw a lot of Chris Johnson in him.
Man, the kid can flat out fly, Demetrius. I'm talking about jets.
Yeah, that's Mr. Foe. That's Mr. Foe too.
And now think about this. Think about this. Arkansas just got Javian Hunt, the four-star running back, number one running back out of Oklahoma. This kid, Ahmonte, another 2021 running back. You're talking about your guy who you like, Josh McCray up there at Enterprise, and then I think Keyshawn Judkins up there at also another Alabama young man. Man,
a stable. I like what Coach Kenny said. It's enough work for everybody to eat. You know, it's enough room for a lot of horses in this stable, and I like what they're bringing to the table because you need those type of running backs in the SEC.
Hey, he said if he was a baller, he's gonna find you, and hey, he's doing just that. He's finding a lot of options at the running back spot, but more options. And the young coach on the staff, Sam Carter, we keep talking about SC. He's making an impression, and he's doing it again at the town of Katy, Texas, with 2021 defensive back Bobby Taylor. He's about to join the show next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
Opening the fitness facilities across our state last week, and we would follow a very similar protocol in regards to that.
One of the things that I've heard, thrown about, and I don't know if athletic directors in the SEC have had talks with the commissioner, but has there ever been talk about an interconference schedule if you guys aren't able to bring in out-of-state non-conference games? I mean, is that any possibility of maybe happening or possibly being in the discussion?
There's been a number of scheduling models that have been placed in front of us as a planning mechanism, discussion mechanism, as we look at what our options could be moving forward if we need to make any adjustments to our 2020 football schedule. But right now, the focus of all 14 athletic directors in our conference office is beginning our football season on September 5th with all of the games as scheduled previously. Now, whatever adjustments we need to make, we feel very confident in one thing, that we need to wait till mid to early June to mid-June to really make those decisions. I think you and everyone listening is aware that so much changes daily in regards to COVID-19, and there's many things across our state that are opening up, and we feel if we can give this another 30 days or so, that there'll be many more changes, hopefully all for the positive, and that will give us a clearer picture of what the fall truly looks like so we can make the best decision for our student athletes and our fans and our institutions moving forward.
Talking with Hunter Yurachek, the athletic director of the University of Arkansas here on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. Hunter, I want to ask a question that has really come about with some fans that wanted me to ask this question. But if there's no fans able to attend the football games, what's Plan B if that's what we have to go to?
Well, Pat, again, our plan is to have games this fall with fans in the stands. We are evaluating every aspect of our stadium venue from the moment you step or drive onto our campus. And, we have roughly 8,000 or 9,000 fans a game that use our shuttle service where our buses bring you from outlying lots. So what does that look like, and how do we make the shuttle buses safe? How do we queue you in line as a patron? How do we queue you in concession lines? How do we create more concession opportunities so that you can practice some social distancing? Is there going to be a requirement for fans to wear masks to protect them and those around them? And so those are the types of plans that we're looking at right now. How do we disinfect, sanitize, and then put protocols in place that make each of our venues, not only football, soccer, volleyball, basketball, safe for all of our fans and all of our student athletes and guests that are attending. And that's our focus right now. Our focus is not on how do we operate with no fans in the stands. Our focus is on how do we create as safe of an environment as possible for our fans to attend Razorback sporting events this fall.
College football is, a major money market for all institutions. One of the main questions that I have was, what would be the financial impact? Say, and I'm on the side with you, Hunter. I think we'll have football, but if the worst case scenario there was no football for all institutions, in particular the private schools such as Arkansas, how would that affect, the university financially if you didn't have the football season?
Well, when you look across the Power 5 conferences and the 65 schools that make up those, I would say for the majority of us, and Arkansas falls into that category, that more than 50% of our annual operating budgets are generated by our football programs. And so if you don't have a football season for 2020, then there's a significant revenue shortfall that normally funds the other 18 sports programs that we have at the University of Arkansas. So we'll have some significant issues. If there's not football this fall, it will be a challenge for us to have an athletic season in general because of the funding mechanism that supports all of our other programs that's driven by football.
Now, when you look at it, Hunter, you've made 3 great, because I want to talk more positive going forward with Coach Eric Musselman, year 1. What gets you so excited about Muss going forward? I know the social media is quite, very exciting to watch, but talk about Coach Musselman. I mean, he's just now come in a year, signed the nation's 5th best recruiting class. How good do you feel going forward under the Muss bus?
I feel great. I mean, his energy level and the infusion that he gave our basketball program, the energetic infusion he gave to our basketball program was just what we needed. I thought our program had become a little stagnant and a little stale, and he has re-energized our men's basketball program. He's made it in vogue again, per se, for young men across the state to come to the University of Arkansas to play basketball. You saw that in the recruiting class, that top 5 recruiting class you referenced. All of those young men that are freshmen, incoming freshmen, are from the state of Arkansas. And so he's given our program what it needed at this time. And, Mike Anderson had done a number of wonderful things, and he had taken our program to another level from when he arrived, and it was time to make a change and for somebody like Eric Musselman to kind of reinvigorate our men's basketball program, and that's exactly what he did. And I think we won 20 games this year.
Welcome back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio, coming to you each and every day here on KDSJ 479 from 1 to 2 p.m. And real quick before we get on to our next guest, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors that make this possible. Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting and KDK's Chicken. And now on to our special guest, as there's a lot of hype going on in the background, and we like that because this guy creates a lot of hype when he gets on the football field. 2021 defensive back prospect for the University of Arkansas, and Sam Carter out of Katy, Texas, Katy High School. Bobby Taylor. Bobby T, welcome on the Hill.
What's going on? Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about your recruiting, Bobby. Arkansas being a major player in this. I know Sam Carter being your lead recruiter. Talk about that relationship and just recruiting as a whole, how that's going heading into your senior year.
I'll probably say it's really just a blessing, really. I got my Arkansas offer as a freshman going into my sophomore year. So, of course, I got offered by Coach Mark Smith. And then, we talked briefly when I was at my old high school, which was Heights. And then me transferring to Katy, the new coach, Coach Carter, he came and visited me, just to make sure, everything was going good during off-season and stuff like that. So, I can't talk to him right now because of my class of 2022. But, when everything opens back up, when school's over and they can start reaching out, then I'll probably start building that bond with him as well. But I've talked to, some other recruits, throughout the nation. They talk about, trying to go to Arkansas and build something. So it's a real big possibility as of now.
When you look at Arkansas, and really, look at what you feel good about heading into your football season, Bobby, what are some of those things you like about your game right now, and what are some of those things that you're going to be working on for this upcoming season?
I can say I'm really confident in my man press technique. So now I'm just working on 7 yards off man, 5 yards off man, just trying to really perfect every aspect of the game. All this Corona stuff on. I missed out on a lot of work, but I'm back in the lab and I'm doing as much as I can. Every day, like 2 workouts a day, 3 workouts a day, just trying to get back right.
Talking about workouts, you have a very elite trainer. I get a chance to see a lot of social media training sessions with the guy on Footwork King. Talk about how that helps your footwork and just your overall game in general, Bobby.
I say it's probably just like the football and then him being able to tell me what I'm doing and how I can use it in game. So the stuff that I take from I normally go on Sundays, so the stuff I take from Sundays, I'll go work on it and practice it Monday and then try to perfect it throughout the week, and then come Friday, it's some second nature, so it's just easy to do and easy to perform with.
When you make that final decision, Bobby, what will you be looking for over one school over the other? As to who feels more comfortable. What will be that one thing?
I'm wherever I go, I'm playing my freshman year. It's not up for the debate. I want to go in where I can make an immediate impact, because right now I'm trying to develop my body. So by the time my senior year does come and it's time for me to graduate, or if I decide to graduate early, my body can be developed, so that way I can go in, play spring ball, and then go in when the fall season starts, not get on the field right away.
And I'll make a note. I did call Bobby a 2021. He's a 2022 young man, so let's make a note here on the show. You got to get my guys' classification correct. But Bobby, talk about Katy, Texas, and that culture. There it's the expectations each and every week, each and every year is state championship or bust. I mean, how talk about that culture and how you think that's going to help once you move to the next level.
Well, when I transferred, the school I went to, we were big on football, but it probably wasn't as big as it is out here. So as soon as I first stepped on campus, it was we just gotta get to work straight away. Okay, there you got offers, this and that, but you still gotta work, because everybody here, they're just working, they're just trying to get their spot and grind. So when I came out here, it was just basically just football, nothing in between. You go to classes, you do your work, football practice, you go back to class, football, and just we eat, breathe, sleep football, really. Everybody, they just support you. So, if you need help with this, they're willing to help you. If guys want to get some extra work, on the weekends, right after practice, you go in there and lift. It's just everybody supports you, all the teachers support you. They'll help you, if you need some extra help. Some of the guys that have been here before, they know the defense, they'll sit there and they'll help me. And then, just the coaches, if you got some questions, I can just go to ask any coach. So it's just a learning experience every day.
Now, I know being in that 22 class, you have a teammate that's really highly coveted by the University of Arkansas, that being Malik Sealing. Talk about that. Do you guys talk about possibly attending the same school, or it's just y'all lean on one another, having to go through the same process?
So at first Malik, when I first came, Malik didn't have any offers. So when he got his first offer, I was happy for him. So now that he didn't blew up, it's okay, this is for real. We got some of the same offers. And so recently on Twitter, we announced we a package deal. So we want to play at the same school. And right now, it's probably say maybe 2 schools that's pushing super heavy right now. To get the both of us down there, because they know that we want to stay together. We don't want to get away from each other, even though we do play 2 different positions.
Talking with Bobby Taylor of Katy, Texas. I made a note in the intro. He's a 2022, not 2021 defensive back prospect, but he is a 4-star and probably the best. No, I'll say is the best defensive back in the state of Texas in that class. But Bobby, who are some NFL or collegiate D-backs that you like to pay attention to and kind of take parts of what they do and maybe add to your game?
I like Ramsey a lot. I like Jalen Ramsey. I like his mentality. You go on the field, he can talk however he wants to, and then he'll show up. So that's how I want to model my game after.
Now, when I come to Katy High School, my man, there in Katy, Texas, I'm at the ball game checking out Bobby T for 4 quarters with my popcorn and my soda pop. What type of player will I see when that ball is kicked off?
Well, I play all aspects of the game. So I'm a kick return, punt return, all that, and it's a possibility I might go both ways next year. So whenever you see me on the field, this is gonna be electric. Because I didn't play like as much as I wanted to last year, but this year, I got a lot of expectations for myself. I want to lead the country in picks, so I got to go out there and got to take care of business.
Where does the confidence come from, BT? I mean, I talked to you last week, and you just ooze with confidence. Where do you get that from?
I don't really know. It's just like people be like, oh, like you Hollywood, this and that. It's not even that. It's just I worked to get here. Like none of this was given to me. Like even though like I got big offers like Bama and Oklahoma and stuff like that. It can be taken away like that. And I know there's other people out here that's working just as hard as me, or probably even harder than me. But I got to make sure, like when they line up in front of me, I can show them what I am and show them that I'm the best and they're not.
Well, see, I have kids on, and we talk to kids from Georgia, Louisiana, Florida. We got a Final Four, Bobby, and I'm going to throw you in this. Final Four, Florida, LSU, Texas, and Georgia. Who comes out the champion in high school football in that Final Four, and why?
We do. There's no school, there's no state, there's nothing, there's no comparison to Texas high school football. What school in Georgia, what school in Louisiana playing in a $75 million stadium on Fridays?
Hey, you got a good point there now. You got a good point.
Exactly.
Hey, you got a good point. Well, let's also have a little fun, my man. I know you might have your list ready, but we're riding around Katy. You and myself. OG's in the car with you. What's the first 5 songs in Club BT that I'm going to hear?
You hear number Lil Baby. Everything Lil Baby. Nothing else.
Big time Lil Baby and Bust, huh?
What? That's the best. That's the best rapper out right now. That's the only thing I'm listening to. If you want to be the best, you got to listen to the best.
I hear you on that, my man. Well, Bobby, thanks for taking time out. I got one more statement before I let you go, and I'd like you to finish that for me. When football is done with, when it's all said and done, you played your high school, college, moved on to play pro ball, and you're done with football entirely. What will Bobby Taylor be doing with the second phase of his life after football?
So my parents, they own a big restaurant down here in Houston. So it's like it's turkey legs. So it's worldwide. So we just trying to expand. And man, when my football career is over, hopefully all the connections and the bonds that I built, I can take what my parents are building right now and turn it into something like Chick-fil-A, have it everywhere,
I like that, my man. Hey, well, hopefully you'll be everywhere, but more so down here in February. But I got to stop. I can't be getting accused of tampering. They might get me for that. But, hey, man, let's not make this the last time throughout the season, Bobby. You want to come back and at least once or twice a month we get a BT update?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. Hey, my man, thanks for taking time out, and you have a great junior season.
You too. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
That was Katy, Texas. I want to make a note. I said he was a 2021 at the beginning of the show. Bobby is a 2022. Want to make a note of that. He's a 2022 defensive back, probably the top defensive back, 4-star young man at Katy High School. And I'm talking Demetrius. This kid has been a household name since his freshman year, and the tape don't lie.
Yeah, just a different level of confidence. You can just hear the way he talks. He really believes in his athletic ability. He believes in his mindset, and he sounds like he's really willing to put in the work. So I think he would be a great addition for Arkansas. Man,
when you look at him, I'm talking about they recruiting dogs. Coach Sam Pittman said it. You got to recruit as if you're on steroids in the SEC. And he didn't mean in the sense of being on steroids. It's just you got to know where the players are. You got to be willing to step up and try to recruit a lot of these kids.
Pat, it's interesting because, at first I used to think my dad was kind of playing when he used to talk about that championship mentality and, getting players. But I can really see a difference with the type of kids that Sam Pittman and this staff is recruiting.
Right.
And even Bielema, and even for a sense of Chad. I mentioned last week how Chad Morris did a lot of things wrong, but the few things he did do right, I think it's going to set Sam Pittman up for success. But what the difference is the culture and the mindset and the type of kids that I see Sam Pittman get.
Yeah.
And these kids are so confident. They're physically gifted. You just see a different type of body. It's just a different type of kid that they're recruiting. And a lot of people are so concerned with the stars. I don't care about that. I think when you look at Sam Pittman, he has such a pedigree of understanding NFL and SEC talent that I think he wouldn't waste the offer just going to get a kid just to fill a position. I think anybody that he brings on this staff has a place to bring something to the table, whether that's from a competitive edge, whether it's from a schematic edge. I think every kid that he goes and recruits has a purpose for coming to Arkansas.
Well, I ain't got much more to say. Just like I said, they're on the right kids. They don't stop watching, and we're not either. And we're going to end this show on that note by giving a shout-out to all of our guests. That being said, 2021 running back prospect, Ahmonte Watkins out of Klein, Texas, Klein Forest High School. He came on and talked Jimmy Smith. And then lastly, we had on 2022 defensive back prospect, Bobby Taylor from Katy High School there in Katy, Texas. That's going to do it. We'll be back tomorrow. I want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates, Locomotion, Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and KDK's Chicken. Until tomorrow, it's been On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and let's get it.
TV God.